Are you more the sort of like the voice in the background on this show? Are you intimately involved with it?
Yeah, I'm kind of this. I supervise it. Steve Maeda is the day-to-day showrunner on the project, so it's really he's running the show.
Okay. So what drew you to it? I mean, what was it about this thing?
It was the spec script. I have my overall deals at Sony Television, and they sent this script over to the office and asked me to read it. That they had been developing, that Cameron had written, and I didn't even want to read it. I was like, a virus? It's just so not my thing.
Yeah, right.
I'm not interested in this, and they kept insisting, and finally my producing partner Meryl read it. She said, no, you should actually read this. It's pretty good. I was like, really? I said, yeah, all right. So I sat down, and it was just a page turner. I just kept wanting to see what happened next, and by the end I wanted to see the next episode, and I said, well, shit, if you can convince me,
right.
This is not my thing, but I was very interested, and I just liked the characters and the concept, and it was just compelling, and so I thought, yeah, there's definitely a series to be done. So then I met with Cameron, and we worked out sort of a story arc for the first season, what it would be like, and I said, oh, well, let's make every episode a day, so it's 13 days, and then you would complete the story in year one of this particular part of the story, and that year two would be completely different and would not just still be in the base, like we would actually do something different in season
Almost
two.
like a different, like American Horror Story kind of thing, except the same characters, but going off to a different adventure completely.
Yeah.
That's intriguing.
Yeah.
So
those were like really interesting ideas that got me excited, so I said, yeah, let's do this.
Now, what would you say was sort of your influence on the show? I mean, as a person who sort of said, okay, I'll get involved with this, what would you say that you could have brought to it?
It was about doing things like that, the structural differences.
Okay.
Do everything a day. Let's break the mold into the second season. Let's try to make it as much about the characters as we can, but let's try to sort of broaden the definition of what a thriller horror show could kind of be, and let's do some deeper themes that are really going on and that kind of stuff.
He also is a person who you and I have talked many times about the struggle of serialization in television, especially with DS9 and all that stuff. Is it a relief to have the fact that this is so heavily serialized? Or
the whole TV landscape is really shifting. Now serialization is really in. Now everyone wants serialized programming. It's really interesting how both audience taste has changed and then
perceptions of serialization has changed. There's really not many standalone shows anymore, other than just the procedurals. That's kind of it, and everything else, they all want serialized stories. They all want story arcs. They all want ongoing character work. So it's really changed. As a writer, is that more freeing? I think so. It's more you fall in love with characters. You do a show because you want to write for these characters, and it's frustrating, I think, when you can't continue the story week to week, and that you have to just kind of forget about everything that happened last week. The audience wants to know what's happening in their lives, and it's nice to be able to do an ongoing story of a group of people.